Are you a homeowner looking for a smarter way to manage your finances? The Sharp Mortgage Team will help you declare your independence from debt this July. Imagine leveraging your home's equity to pay bills or finance significant life events. A home equity line of credit, or HELOC, makes managing your debt easier and more efficient. The Sharp Mortgage Team specializes in refinancing home loans, offering tailored solutions that put your financial goals within reach. Why stress with the burden of high-interest debt when you can simplify and save? Seize the opportunity to steer your financial future in the right direction by contacting the experts at the Sharp Mortgage Team. Start your journey toward financial freedom today by visiting their website at sharpmortgageteam.com. Remember, your home could be the key to a more secure and prosperous tomorrow. The Sharp Mortgage Team, where your financial well-being is their priority.
All right, party goers, welcome back to Zero Dark Nerdy, the galaxy's most average pop culture podcast, brought to you by Sailfish Comics. 3 locations in North Carolina, 1 in Concord, 1 in Winston, and our favorite right here in good old Greensboro, North Carolina, right across the street from Best Buy. That is Sailfish Comics for all your comic book, graphic novel, and action figure needs. Be sure to check them out and, of course, subscribe to their newsletter so you can see what's coming up on every new Comic Book Wednesday. Be sure to catch our many trivia nights that we have going on just about 6 nights a week. Go to our website, popculturepodcast.com, to see where you can check out all of our trivia nights. Big shout outs to Jadon and, of course, everybody over at Donkey Brain Entertainment. Most importantly, we want to give a gigantic shout out, much love to our boy Matthew Feliciano. On his way to recovery right now, he's had some issues, as a lot of you know. He was an original member of Zero Dark Nerdy. He came on a couple episodes late because of a heart transplant. Had some stuff going on. It looks like he's on a great road to recovery. So thank you to all of our friends and family for all your thoughts and prayers. It's been great, and we cannot wait to have Matthew home ASAP. And, of course, our good friends over at the Believe Podcast Network. So this is going to be my first podcast by myself, and I can't tell you how long. For those of you that know me, or those of you that have been paying attention to these podcast episodes, I do suffer from anxiety as well as depression. So I'd like to have at least 1 or 2 people join me on podcast episodes, but I figured today's topic was one that I could hopefully try to do by myself without, embarrassing myself too much, I guess you could say. So we're going to be talking about the new Eminem album and just kind of like a brief history of Eminem as well. You know, the album, the death of Slim Shady, Coup de Grâce, de Grace, de whatever, however you pronounce it. Y'all know English is not my first language, so bear with me here. So, first off, I've been a fan since the Slim Shady LP. Came out in 99. I actually met Eminem one time when I lived in Michigan. I lived in Rochester Hills, Michigan for a few years in the 90s. And we had what was called the hip hop shop, which was, this is the 90s, right? We don't have Amazon yet. We don't have everything else. We can just order something at like just by picking up your phone and clicking on it. We used to actually have to go to stores and find stuff. And at the time, there was not really a lot of places outside of New York City or, even LA, where you could find a lot of hip hop stuff, whether if it's apparel, posters, CDs, you can pretty much find just about at every record store. But if you're looking for most importantly, shirts and apparel and just kind of like posters and whatnot, it was very hard to come by. So they opened up the hip hop shop in Detroit on 7 Mile, right next to, of course, 8 Mile. And, I used to go there every chance I could just because I loved going to record stores, and especially a record store that was dedicated to nothing but hip hop. And just remember just briefly meeting him. He was very, very talented MC. At the time, a lot of people didn't take notice because we were in the middle of like the whole East Coast, West Coast, Biggie, Tupac, all that fun stuff. But I just remember him being talented and just dapping him up and just wishing him the best. And, it's crazy going forward to 1999 when he dropped the Slim Shady LP, being like, holy crap, that's the dude that I met at the hip hop shop. So, with that being said, Am I a Eminem fanboy? I mean, I do think that he is a very, very talented rapper. And like I said, we're going to get to this album here in just a little bit. But I think first and foremost, a lot of people need to realize that Eminem is first a hip hop fan and then a rapper second. Like, he does have an appreciation for hip hop that a lot of people do not understand or possibly recognize or maybe not even care about.
It's time to get serious about your financial future. It's never too early, but it could be too late to get started. And that's oftentimes the hardest part, getting started. How much do I save? Where do I invest? Do I save for college or retirement? How much for each? And who do I talk to about it all? Okay, we'll keep things simple for now and help you answer the last one. We recommend you begin with a local financial advisor. And that's Jennifer Johnson of Three Magnolias Financial Advisors. She'll sit down with you for a complimentary introductory consultation and go over all of your questions. Get started on the path to achieving your financial goals. Visit threemagnoliasfinancialadvisors.com or call 336-701-1600. Get comfortable with your financial future. Three Magnolias Financial Advisors. Retirement, financial planning, and investments. Securities offered through Cetera Advisor Networks, LLC, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Three Magnolias Financial Advisors. Three Magnolias Financial Advisors and Cetera Advisor Networks are not affiliated. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity.
Life is full of celebrations, birthdays, holidays, life milestones, and so much more. And who has been helping generations of families celebrate these events? Our friends at Dewey's Bakery. And even if you aren't planning for something in the near future, you don't have to wait to enjoy something savory and delicious from Dewey's. Maybe you just need something to get you through your Mondays. Drop by every Monday for a free Cake Square Day. No purchase necessary. Just come celebrate the start of a new week. So, if you're hearing this ad on a Monday and you're in your car, reset that GPS and get to one of their 3 Triad locations immediately in Winston-Salem at Thruway and Renolda Manor, plus one in Greensboro at Friendly Shopping Center. And any day of the week, you can find the perfect item with fast and easy ordering options at local.deweys.com. Plus, Dewey's does so much to help celebrate our community. To date, they've given back over $4 million to local schools, churches, and other nonprofits. Your next celebration isn't complete without something special from Dewey's Bakery. Dewey's. Celebrate every day.
You know, we're living, unfortunately, in an age to where there's just a lot of, TikTok rappers and social media rappers, quote unquote, where they just want to make a quick buck and come out with a quick song. And, you got these bullshit artists like Tekashi 6ix9ine and Island Boys and stuff like that, which would have never, ever gotten airplay anywhere on any respectful radio station from the 90s through about, 2015. And you still won't even find regular hip hop stations playing their stuff because they're going to cater to their audience, which unfortunately is a lot of people that don't know much about hip hop. And Eminem has stayed true to himself. At the end of the day, is every album that he's come out with a complete banger? No, but he has come out with a ton of bangers. This is his 12th album right now. And, a lot of people may not know this. He found sobriety a long time ago, as he was having the Slim Shady alter character, I guess you could say. So, with that being said, he did come out with a lot of classics. I mean, the Slim Shady LP is just tremendous. And then from that went to the Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem Show, Encore. And then, there was a couple hits and misses after that. There was Relapse that not a lot of people really, cared for. Recovery wasn't too bad. I believe Love the Way You Lie with Rihanna was on that. The Marshall Mathers LP 2 really helped bring Eminem back into the fold with a lot of just straight bangers on that. And then Revival and Kamikaze weren't too bad either. And he's done a lot of this stuff under the radar, I'd like to admit, compared to other hip hop artists, especially all the stuff he's done from 2010 until now. He's just kind of just released and just release it and just let the fans appreciate it for what it is. And I respect that. This one he has been bumping a lot, in terms of advertising, in terms of social media, which is fantastic to kind of see him on his grind like that to put to bed the Slim Shady alter ego. And, at the end of the day, it's just great to see someone that has just so many flows, right? Like you don't hear him rap about the same stuff or have the same flow on every single album. He is a wordsmith, for lack of a better term. He's up there in terms of lyrics when it comes to your Black Thoughts, your Redmans, your Talibs out there. And it just goes unappreciated and even sometimes hated because, everybody goes after people that are on top, no matter how they got there. And I think Eminem got there through, hard work, plain and simple. Like he didn't go into this like, oh, I'm signed by Dre, I'm the shit. There's been a lot of people signed by Dre and think that they were the shit, and they are no longer relevant nowadays, where Eminem kept pushing himself. And even when he wasn't coming out with bangers, he was still trying to either figure out what was going on with himself, pushing himself as a producer, but also looking around to see what talent was around him. And there's no better advocate for the city of Detroit than Eminem.
Who's ready for movie night? Our friends at the Ginther Group Real Estate are proud to sponsor another season of innovation and cinema at Bailey Park in downtown Winston-Salem's Innovation Quarter. The next film is Blade, starring Wesley Snipes, on Friday, August 16th. Bring your chair or blanket to Bailey Park for a great night of cinema from Aperture and beverages and food from a variety of local vendors. Pre-film fun begins at 6:30 p.m. and the movie begins at dark. These magical movie nights are made possible by the Ginther Group, the real estate experts we trust and showcase right here on the Triad Podcast Network. Check their social media for info on each upcoming movie night. And for your real estate needs, call 336-283-8689 or visit theginthergroup.com. Buying, selling, investing, or just learning. Whatever you need, start now. And like me, you can become a Ginther Group client for life.
When I lived right outside of Detroit, I'm not saying I'm from Detroit. I'm from the suburbs of Detroit. So let's not get it twisted out there. I'm not from 8 Mile. I lived in Rochester Hills, Michigan, suburb of Detroit. A lot of the Lions players lived out there. But coming up in that scene, the only thing that you would ever hear of out there from Detroit was like Insane Clown Posse or underground rappers like Not Us. And, like horrorcore kind of things like that, which I don't mind horrorcore. A lot of people know that Gravediggers is one of my favorite hip hop acts, but it just was not a huge scene for hip hop. So for him to we're not just playing the white card here, but someone that can genuinely rap. Like, with that being said, Death of Slim Shady is a good album. I really enjoyed the last two albums that he had, Music to Be Murdered By and Music to Be Murdered B-side. To me are severely underrated. Be sure to check them out. Alfred's theme on Music to Be Murdered By is a literal hip-hop masterclass by itself. Just with the entendres, double entendres, all that stuff. This dude, he is just a force, plain and simple. He knows when to come on someone's remix and completely embarrass the crap out of them, but just bringing his A game, and he's not even trying to embarrass him. He's just like, hey, this is me. This is my flow. I'm not here to destroy you. But at the same time, think about it like when everybody was playing Duke, when Coach K was the head coach. You got to bring your A game, right? And people that didn't, they were definitely undershown in some remixes and in some albums where he brings it every day because he still has that chip on his shoulder. He's still that dude that grew up in a trailer park that nobody believed in, that thought he was going to be trash. And he was like, you know what? To the day I die, I'm going to rip it as if it's the last rhyme I ever have on earth. And you just got to respect someone for that. So, here at Zero Dark Nerdy, we're not here to trash on anyone's albums. The Death of Slim Shady, I do think is a solid B+. I would give it an 8 out of 10 gold stars. As far as some of my favorite tracks on there, Renaissance, Habits, I got to ask you though, Trouble, the dopest beat on the album is only a 40-second song. You got to give us more. I'm hoping that he gives us a B-side just like he did for Music to Be Murdered By, where we get a full 3 to 4 minutes of that beat from Trouble Somewhere. Because, I mean, him and just, his alter ego, the whole album is pretty much Marshall Mathers, on some tracks, Slim Shady on some tracks, and then they beef on a lot of tracks too, trying to see who's going to take over Eminem per se. And, that's my main and my biggest gripe is Trouble. That beat just goes so hard. And to only get 40 seconds of it it hurts, Em. It hurts. So just throwing it out there. Some other favorites, Evil, Lucifer, Guilty Conscience 2. I was actually hoping to, get Dre back on there for Guilty, Conscience in like a repeat from part 1. But it was good to see, Marshall Mathers and Slim Shady battling. And you can kind of see this is where the twist and where the album goes to where in the beginning, it's more like Slim Shady's winning. And then now you see Marshall Mathers kind of starting to take over. Head Honcho's great. Temporary, the, kind of early obituary, like farewell letter he has to Haley is a definitely a memorable song. Toby's so dope, with Big Sean. And, guess who's back with Ken Kenneth from Connecticut? Man, I wanted some more Ken Kenneth, though. As much as I love that skit, for all of us early Eminem fans, we know it's all about the skits. I mean, a lot of our favorite rappers, Method Man and Redman by himself, Busta Rhymes, these guys had incredible skits in between their songs that would just either entertain you or just kind of get you hyped for the next song. And Ken Kenneth would always be, talking shit to ICP or just doing whatever. I did want to see a little bit more Ken Kenneth from Connecticut. But, I'll take what I can get. So I would say 10 out of 19 songs. That's not bad. You know what I mean? Like I said, a lot of bangers on there. Is it a masterpiece? No, not by any means. I would probably put this in his top 5 of albums. But at the end of the day, for true hip hop fans that aren't jaded by mumble rappers and just, TikTok rappers just trying to make a quick song that sounds like pure dog shit. For pure hip hop fans, this definitely is a must. So check it out. And, hope you enjoyed this little solo episode with just yours truly, Brian, a.k.a. El Nino, on it. As always, big shout outs to Sailfish Comics, Golden Ticket Cinemas, Believe Podcast Network, Zibster for all your website needs. That is Zibster. And, of course, be sure to check out our website, popculturepodcast.com. Go to the events page. If you're local to the Triad area in North Carolina, you get to see where all our trivia nights are. And on top of that, on our website, we have all of our videos, our live streams, our podcast episodes, blogs, reviews, so much more. Again, Zibster, Zibster for all your website needs. And, as always, be sure to like, subscribe, follow. And thank you for being a fan. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope I didn't ramble on too much. This one is for the pure hip hop heads. I might have some people getting mad and yelling at me, but at the same time, I don't get paid enough to give a shit about what you think. I'm just here to entertain the masses as much as I possibly can. So on behalf of everybody at Zero Dark Nerdy, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Yeah! Victory!
And anger management?
Fuck anger management.